Hi, my name is Nate. I'm going to tell you my incredible story. The mountains had always been my sanctuary. Growing up in Nebraska, where the land stretched flat and endless, I'd dreamed of peaks that scraped the sky. By 28, I'd summited half a dozen Colorado 14ers, but the Wilson Range near Telluride remained unconquered. It was March 15th, 2018, a Thursday. I'd taken the week off work, telling my fiancée, Clara, it was a final solo adventure before our June wedding. She kissed me goodbye, her voice teasing, but edged with worry. Don't make me plan this wedding alone, Nate. The trailhead was deserted. I'd chosen the Silver Creek Basin route, a steep, unmaintained path favored by backcountry skiers. My gear was top tier: avalanche beacon, collapsible shovel, a new GPS watch from Clara. The morning sun glinted off the snow, and the air smelled of pine and possibility. By 11 a.m., I'd reached 12,000 feet. Then the sky curdled. Weather in the Rockies is a fickle beast. The forecast had promised light flurries, but the storm that rolled in was a snarling thing. 70-mile-per-hour winds, visibility dropping to zero. I turned back, but the trail markers had vanished under fresh powder. Panic fluttered in my chest. Stay calm, I told myself. Retrace your steps. The avalanche hit at 1:23 p.m. Later, rescuers would explain it was triggered by a cornice collapse a mile west. To me, it was a thunderous roar, a wall of white swallowing the world. I tried to swim, as survival guides instruct, but the snow wrenched me like a rag doll. My head struck granite. My last thought, Clara will kill me for this. Clara knew something was wrong by sunset. I'd programmed my GPS to send her coordinates every 2 hours. When the ping stopped at 1:15 p.m., she called San Miguel County Search and Rescue. He's experienced, she insisted to the dispatcher. He wouldn't just vanish. A team set out at dawn. They found my rental Jeep buried to its windows in snow. My backpack, torn open by the slide, yielded a waterlogged map and a smashed GoPro. For 3 days, helicopters crisscrossed the basin. On day 4, a cadaver dog sniffed a body half a mile downstream, lodged under ice in the San Miguel River. The man wore a black Patagonia jacket, identical to mine, in size 11 La Sportiva boots, my exact brand. His face was obliterated by ice trauma. Dental records matched mine, but only partially. The coroner noted, inconclusive due to maxillary damage. Clara, however, collapsed in the morgue. It's his necklace, she whispered. Around the corpse's neck hung a silver compass pendant. Her Christmas gift to me. What none of us knew? The necklace had been torn off me during the avalanche. The victim, later identified as Ethan Cole, a 24-year-old geology student from Boulder, had found it in a trail side crevice days before his own disappearance. He tucked it into his pocket as a trail treasure, his roommate would explain. My funeral was held on a sleet gray Saturday in Omaha. Clara wore the navy dress she'd bought for our rehearsal dinner. My mother, Joan, stoic in the front pew, clutched the urn containing Ethan's ashes. She'd refused to bury an empty casket. My college buddies shared whiskey flasks in the parking lot, muttering about stupid risks. Clara deleted our wedding website. My boss packed up my desk, mailing Clara a box labeled Nate's Things. My Instagram filled with eulogies, photos of me kayaking, grinning atop Long's Peak, arms slung around Clara at a Rockies game. The headline in the Omaha World Herald read, "Local accountant dies in Colorado avalanche." Meanwhile, I lay trapped in a snow cave, hallucinating. I'd woken hours after the slide, legs crushed under a boulder, right arm broken. My lighter flickered weakly as I burned a $20 bill for warmth. I ate snow, rationed a single Cliff Bar, and screamed until my throat bled. On the third night, delirious, I carved Clara into the cave wall with my car key. Eli Masterson, a 32-year-old geologist from Durango, saved my life. He'd been skiing alone, drawn to the basin by rare mineral deposits. Spotting my red backpack through the snow, he initially thought it was trash. Then he saw my hand, gray-blue, fingers curled like a dead spider. "Hey!" Eli shouted, digging frantically. "Can you hear me?" I croaked something unintelligible. Later, Eli would tell reporters, "I thought he said avocado." Turns out it was Clara. The medevac flight to Telluride Regional Hospital blurred in my memory. I remember the prick of an IV, a nurse saying, "Hypothermia, 89.7 degrees Fahrenheit core temp." When I begged to call Clara, the staff exchanged glances. "We tried your emergency contacts," a doctor admitted. "They're unavailable." They didn't know Claire had thrown her phone into the Missouri River after my funeral. My parents, unplugging their landline, had fled to a cousin's cabin in Wyoming. Discharged after 9 days, I became a ghost in my own life. The hospital social worker lent me a phone. Claire's number went straight to voicemail. "You've reached Nate and Clara." My chest tightened. At the library, I Googled my name. My obituary popped up alongside a Denver Post article. "Mountain claims second victim in tragic mix-up." That's how I learned about Ethan. I hitchhiked to Boulder, tracking down Ethan's roommate, Mark. He answered the door red-eyed, holding a Pabst. "You're that guy," he slurred. "The one they mixed up with Ethan." Mark showed me Ethan's room, textbooks on glacial erosion, a half-packed hiking bag, a sticky note on his desk. "Call Mom Sunday." I vomited in their hallway. Reuniting with Clara was nothing like the movies. I found her at her sister's cabin near Duluth. She'd been chopping wood when I emerged from the tree line. For a heartbeat, she froze. Then she swung the axe at me. "You bastard!" she screamed. The blade buried itself in a birch stump. "I saw your body! I touched you!" We sat on the frozen lake for hours, my parka draped over her flannel. I showed her the scar from my IV, the frostbite patches on my knees. She traced them, silent, then punched my shoulder hard enough to bruise. "Don't you ever die again," she whispered. Grief doesn't vanish when the dead walk back in. Clara slept with the lights on for months, terrified I'd dissolve like a ghost. My mother developed a tic, calling me hourly, just checking. At work, colleagues avoided me, too uncomfortable with my Lazarus act. Ethan's family sued the coroner's office. I testified at the hearing, staring at his parents as they sobbed. "You're alive because my son is dead," Mrs. Cole spat. I didn't argue. Claire and I married in a courthouse. No fanfare. Our vows included in sickness and hypothermia. We moved to Fort Collins, where no one knew my story. I volunteer with Alpine Rescue now, training dogs to sniff out crevasses. Every March 15th, I hike to Ethan's memorial plaque in Boulder. I leave a Cliff Bar and a $20 bill, the closest I get to prayer. Last winter, Clara gave birth to our daughter. We named her Ellie, short for Eli, after the man who dug me out. At her christening, I slipped the silver compass around her neck. "Someday," I told Clara, "I'll explain why this matters. For now, it's enough that she's here, warm, wailing, alive.